What's up and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Borderlands 2 Remastered and why it will never happen. Now I know this is a terrible thing to hear today, but it's something that needs to be talked about. It's been a big discussion over the last month or so, but the unfortunate truth about a remaster of BL2 is that Gearbox isn't working on one, and if they were going to do it, it's fair to assume that the 10-year anniversary for the game would have been a good place to announce it. But that was back in September of 2022. The 10-year celebration where all the Borderlands fans put their cups up, filled with tears and beers, came and went. And not a single announcement came out of it. But why do I feel the need to make this known? Why does this video even exist? Well, before I even get into this, I want to say that I'm not going to be naming anybody involved, as it's just not worth my breath. Essentially, we've had some clickbait around the community that is basically teasing a remaster, when in all reality, at Gearbox Studios, there is currently zero Borderlands 2 Remaster being produced. Even more pathetic is that the screenshot hyping it up is literally something I could do. They just took two screenshots side by side of the current BL2 beside another picture trying to act like it's a real remaster. Shit, it could have even been some AI filter that they have applied to the image, and I really hope nobody actually put work into this, because it doesn't look good. To put it into perspective, it's like if instead of this video being called what it's called, which is not only realistic and correct, it's like if I titled it, Borderlands 2 Remastered is coming, with that thumbnail right there on screen, almost making it look like it really is on the way. Wouldn't you think twice about trusting what I say if that's the video that you clicked on here today? I only say this because dominoes always fall in order, and it's never just one. So watch out for these signs in the future, because I promise you, history always repeats itself. Now, back to what I said about how Gearbox isn't working on one. Sure, just because one isn't being made right now doesn't mean it'll never happen ever, right? Well, you might think that, and if you are thinking that, I will discuss why you are incorrect later in this video. The reason these obviously bait posts are a point of discussion is that it's not only misinformation, but flat out disingenuous. And then it leads to people commenting on my videos about a remaster or about how one is currently in the works. This is something that I've not only seen on my videos, but random Twitter threads, and even the rare occasion that I peep the Reddit. And just a little side note, if you haven't looked at the Borderlands Reddit yet, just trust me, you're not missing much. But regardless, people are talking about a remastered version of Borderlands 2 all across the internet. Now, why does this matter? Well, for one, pretty much any fan of Borderlands wants a Borderlands 2 remastered. And yes, it may be fun to speculate on upcoming games and Borderlands projects like we do here with Borderlands 4, the movie, and so on and so forth. But to try and market your custom mod as a Borderlands 2 remaster is just corny as shit to me. Just call it Borderlands 2 Air Ducts like you did with your other projects. But the last thing I want to say about these bait posts, and the reason why it really pisses me off, is because it gives the community false hope, making them believe in something that doesn't even exist. But anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that big pile of t-shirt stains. In regards to Gearbox actually doing a remaster, if anything, I could see them doing a remake like they did with BL1. But there's no way in hell they'll actually go through with doing a full-on remaster. For one, the player count on Borderlands 2 is definitely on the healthier side of the community, having not only green stats for the last 4 months on Steam, which is our only public player count, as console player numbers have never been public. But on top of those 4,000 or 5,000 that have been playing on Steam, we have the Xbox One versions, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 that are still kicking, the Nintendo Switch, and I shit you not, I've gotten some comments from some Vita players that are actually still playing. So given that the game's player base is spread across so many different consoles, it's hard to properly determine the amount of players, especially when some of them might not even have their devices connected to the internet while they play, which basically gives no indication of how many players there are on any server. My estimated guess is that there's somewhere around a solid 10,000 players spread out across the console base, and I'd say for an 11-year-old game, that's pretty damn good. Tack on the additional 3,000 to 4,000 players from PC, and with that big of an active player count, that's somewhere around 12 on the low end to the upper end of 14,000 players. And this is just my estimate. But essentially what this means for them is that there really is no reason to have to go in and remaster it. While there are plenty of things that can be fixed and improved upon, a lot of the fixes would patch a chunk of the fun unintentional interactions that this game is so famous for. Whether it's Sal's offhand, quicksand, rocket jumping, and just all of the insane amount of glitches that players like. If I sat here and listed every single one, we'd be here all day. And all of them would likely be fixed in a remaster on a new engine. And even if they're not fixing it on purpose, if it is built in a new engine, it's very likely that it still wouldn't feel the same. But when it comes to a remake, I think they would do the exact same thing and patch a lot of the unintentional bugs that we love so much. Which is why I don't personally see a remake happening either, even though it's more likely. Much like us getting another Handsome Jack level villain, the odds of us actually getting that remaster are slim to none. So don't believe everything you see on the internet. That's what I want you to take away from today, because people are always going to say the most out-of-pocket shit to get an extra interaction. And while you may see it as crazy to think that a BL2 remaster would never happen, whether you know it or not, when it comes to Gearbox, they know they would fuck it up. They simply cannot afford the outrage that would come from them messing up Borderlands 2. Not only would the fan base be sent into a fit, but the saying "don't fix what isn't broke" applies to this situation. Like I said, there are some things that could be fixed in this game, like 2 of our raid bosses being virtually impossible to kill on OP10, but the majority of the game does play as intended. While far, far, far from a coding masterpiece, Borderlands 2 is one of those games that will always stand the test of time.
It is a masterpiece, James. Complete, comprehensive.
He's out of line, but he's right. It's great. Everybody loves
Borderlands 2.
And there's always going to be motherfuckers playing it, and I absolutely love that. And while I personally would enjoy a remaster, I just don't think they'd ever do it. It's just too risky, and I just think there's no way to recapture that spark of Borderlands 2. While you can get elements of it back, adapt parts from it to make your future projects improve, I don't know if we'll ever see any other game in this series do what Borderlands 2 did. But in my opinion, Borderlands 2 was just in the right place at the right time. The certified COD killer of 2012 has been going on for over 11 years. And still to this day, we've yet to see any looter shooter come close to the incredible heights that BL2 reached. And that's going to do it for me today, guys. I really do hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash a like on it and subscribe if you motherfuckers are new. I'm bringing you new Borderlands videos every single week, but just know that I love you all to death. I want you to take it easy out there, stay safe, and with that, I will see you all in the next one.